Good afternoon and welcome to the Live Healthy Miami Gardens Facebook Live weekly health and wellness series brought to you by the City of Miami Gardens, Live Healthy Miami Gardens. Our goal is to bring our community information and resources to help us make the healthiest choices possible for ourselves as a Miami Gardens community and our families. My name is KeTia Harris. I'm Community Health Data Specialist at JTCHS Community Health System, Program Manager for our Breastfeeding Touchpoint Program based in Jesse Trice Miami Gardens Barbara Jordan Clinic, member with Live Healthy Miami Gardens, and your host for today. Live Healthy Miami Gardens was born from the realization that although health is largely influenced by our individual choices, the conditions in the communities where we live, learn, work, worship, and play also play major contributing factors to the racial and ethnic health disparities and health care disparities faced, as well as our overall ability to make healthier choices. We know that these conditions are systemic, historical, and continue to impact us as communities of color and as a whole here and now. Live Healthy is a community initiative and part of the city's efforts to address these conditions and reduce poor health outcomes through the transformation of policies, our environment, and the healthcare system overall, making the city of Miami Gardens a healthier place to be. So we're in the heart of National Breastfeeding Month, celebrating with this year's theme, Together We Do Great Things. Joining us today to talk about all of the great things we're doing this month, including and especially events kicking off Black Breastfeeding Week, are two of my partners, my community partners, where we're always doing great things together. First, I would like to introduce Monica Mccool, who is a family health worker with the Department of Health Miami-Dade WIC program in Liberty City, co-host of our virtual breastfeeding cafe support group every second and fourth Friday on Zoom, and mom of a beautiful 7-year-old girl whom she breastfed exclusively for 2 years. Monica is also very passionate about breastfeeding and loves encouraging and supporting other moms to breastfeed. Monica, well, first of all, thank you for joining us today, Monica. Can you tell
Thank you
us
for
a little
having
bit?
me.
Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself, including your role with WIC?
Yes, so hi everyone. My name is Monica. I'm a breastfeeding peer counselor at WIC at the Liberty City location. I am a peer counselor and also a motivator and encourager. Okay, so I take my time to encourage women to breastfeed. I educate about breastfeeding, and as any peer does, they are there for each other. So I'm always trying to be there for my moms and encourage breastfeeding. So that is my role there at WIC. Along with Katia, where I do support groups every second and fourth Friday of the month through Zoom, which is through our virtual breastfeeding cafe.
Thank you. Also joining us today is Esther Mccann, who is doula for mommy, advocate for baby, helper for family. She's also the founder and CEO of Metro Mommy Agency. She also serves as education and communications coordinator for one of our community partners, the Jasmine Project. Co-chair for the Healthy Baby Task Force, is one of 21 partners along with Live Healthy Miami Gardens, Jesse Trice, and Wig Miami-Dade, making up the Breastfeed Miami Collaborative, co-collaborator with Rose, which is reaching our sisters everywhere, on a new initiative to ensure that mothers of color have access to breastfeeding support and other resources in our community. And she, along with her husband, are also parents of 4 boys. That's a lot.
Yes.
So thank you for joining us with all of that. Thank you for taking this time out to join us. Can you also tell us a little bit, like I haven't said a lot already, a little bit more about yourself, including what all you do with Metro Mommy Agency, some of your, and even including the new initiative that you're doing with some of the FQHCs.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that intro, everyone. Hello again. You all are not new faces. I'm so grateful to be on this platform with you all. Like KeTia just shared, I have a huge passion for this work. I'm very interested in building the capacity of local doulas to increase their understanding of breastfeeding. And so, through the new initiative that I am a part of, I'm the program manager for MOMCHA, which means making optimal maternal child health accessible. It's a program that is funded through our health department here. And it is a health equity program that is centering incorporating doulas into the referrals that our healthcare providers make at the local federally qualified healthcare centers. So centers like Jesse Trice, we would like to encourage more providers to play a role in referring their clients to doulas, because we know doulas who provide professional labor support in the hospital, in birth centers, at home, are usually the first ones that are influencing and impacting the client's decision to breastfeed in the first place, right? And so we want to, increase positive birth outcomes here. We don't want folks to be afraid of birthing here in Miami-Dade County. We don't want folks experiencing racism or bias here in our county. And so this is one way that I choose to change that. And so I'm very excited to be here, and I'm grateful to be a part of the show.
And we're grateful for having you, both of you. These are two women that I truly admire. They always go over and beyond, and is truly passionate about the work of supporting moms, babies, and families, including especially Black moms, Black breastfeeding moms. So, with that said, again, we this week does kick off Black Breastfeeding Week with the theme 10 Years a New Foundation, while celebrating the many stories and families from the past, present, and now. Emphasizing the Black and Black Breastfeeding Week. Why is that important? Why is it that awareness is centered around Black breastfeeding women? And any of you, either one of you can take that question.
Well, I can go ahead and answer that real quick. So, it's very important because unfortunately, Black women are not given the praise or encouragement that they deserve when it comes to breastfeeding. Um, just because they have that stigma of, Black women don't breastfeed, Black women formula feed, and honestly, they have Black women are more prone to using formula since they are targeted, especially by the formula companies, and constantly being brainwashed about how great formula is. It, helps baby's brain development. It helps to make baby chunky, or and so all that stigma. And I feel like instead of looking at what Black women don't do, let's look at what Black women do. Okay, Black women do breastfeed. Yes, some there are low breastfeeding rates in Black women, but let's praise the ones who are breastfeeding, and let's encourage the ones who are not breastfeeding. Okay, and especially when it comes to Black women and the community. Okay, so they're not always given that encouragement to breastfeed. Um, or given that education about breastfeeding. So that's why I feel like Black Breastfeeding Week is very important to give focus to Black women and breastfeeding.
Right. Thank you for that. And part of the I don't understand some of the barriers to the disparities shown in the initiation of breastfeeding, especially among Black women, includes also the support that the families receive to ensure that they thrive in throughout their pregnancy, throughout their delivery, and throughout the breastfeeding experience. Esther, do you want to talk a little bit about, or at all, about the role of doulas, or your role as a doula, as a certified lactation counselor, in supporting families and ensuring that they have a successful breastfeeding experience?
Absolutely. I think it's really important for folks to understand when a doula comes into play, we are joining that family, as early as they find us, right? So as soon as families are able to know that they're pregnant, expecting, and they hit a certain timeline, I would say 12 to 14 weeks, we can begin working with that family. And so that gives them access to me as a successful breastfeeding mom, right? But also as a professional to tap into what I know. So they're asking me things about, what kinds of products they should buy, what kinds of, you know, pattern or schedule they might anticipate. And that really helps them to, one, have someone who is a safe space, listen to their concerns. It also opens up the floor for them to talk about their fears and their concerns and worries, especially when it comes to milk supply. I don't think I've ever, worked with a client that wasn't concerned about milk supply. And so my approach is to listen in to what could be those potential barriers, right? So is it going to be that support system, right? Which I know they need because they hired me, right? They know they need a support system. And sometimes it's identifying that support system. Sometimes I'm playing the role of like that neutral party who can calmly tell the partner, hey, yeah, we're not going to do formula now because of X, Y, and Z. I know that maybe your friend did it or X, Y, and Z, but maybe you should come into our class when we talk about it, right? So that you can learn a little bit more about why you might want to invest time and energy in breastfeeding versus spending tons of money on formula. So it's breaking those barriers. Sometimes it's the family members who just don't know, and they also were getting a lot of propaganda, when you think about those folks who are from the Caribbean, right, which I'm Haitian, right? And so it's always a concern. Make sure the babies are well fed, make sure you give the baby more than just the breast milk is really their concern. But they don't always understand that impact on the gut biome, the impact on their immune system. And sometimes it just takes someone who's just calm, chill, and just neutral, right? To just be a professional and say, I understand that. I know you love this baby. And what's really best for it is X, Y, and Z. And so that's kind of where I come in. They have access to text me, they have access to call me, and my support goes beyond the 6 weeks. It's usually up to 6 months postpartum. I have folks who reach out to me, and some of them, another one just reached out to me the other day, just 8 months, concerned about how many times she's breastfeeding in the day versus giving solids. So we become lifelong friends and supports to those families.
Awesome. And it's not just statistically speaking, but just from what you're sharing, Esther, what you're sharing, Monica, both of you are living proof through your work that women, and not just Black women, all women are more likely to breastfeed where breastfeeding is promoted, breastfeeding is supported, and where breastfeeding especially is protected. And part of that protection is countering that marketing of infant formula, or I should say the anti-marketing of breastfeeding and breast milk as the gold standard or the normative standard for breastfeeding. So I say all of that to ask, what is our community doing about it? And more specifically, what are some events or activities or programs that both of you have or are hosting or are part of to promote breastfeeding and counter some of the anti-marketing of it?
So this Friday, we are actually hosting an event at our Liberty City location at WIC. The event is called Black Women Do Breastfeed. So actually, KeTia is co-hosting as well. We're very excited because I feel like it's not also something to educate moms about, but also to, like I said, praise and encourage the moms who are already breastfeeding. So we want to really focus on, the theme of Black Breastfeeding Week, which is past, present, and future. So, what happened in the past? What's happening now? And what can we do in the future to help and actually promote more breastfeeding? Okay. And to piggyback about what you were saying, Esther and KeTia, I mean, if you think about it, moms have all this faith in their doctors and the hospitals and the doulas. And if they don't have that encouragement and that support, which they're not from the hospital, it's very hard for a mom to initiate breastfeeding. It's very hard when you have a doctor telling you you're not making any milk, or your milk hasn't come in yet, or you know, your baby's not latching, so let's just give formula. So moms give all this faith, and you know, they have all this faith in these doctors, and they're not giving them the right education. Okay, so I feel like this event is going to help, especially targeting Black women, and you know, encouraging, and not also just encouraging them, but the families. So that's why we also opened it up to the families to come in and hear about breastfeeding, and it's like a safe space for moms to see other women just like them who are breastfeeding as well.
Okay. Thank you. So I know you have to go really soon. Can you please share some of the stuff that some of the activities that Mom Child and Metro Mommy Agency is doing, and I'm also going to share a screen of some of the activities you have going on. Your Breastfeeding Awareness Month guide, actually.
Yes, yes. So because I was connected to so many different events, I felt like, it was necessary to create a guide to just organize the events going on. And so upcoming this week, I actually have on Thursday evening a mix and mingling kind of event. Excuse me, excuse me. Hold on, my little one.
So part of, we all have families. I was dealing with my daughter just not too long ago either. But so if the screen can be shared, so this is example of the Breastfeeding Awareness Month 2002 guide, showing a lot of the events that's going on throughout Miami-Dade County. The guide created by Metro Mommy Agency,
Right. And so if you
in
scroll
partnership with
down,
Breastfeed Miami. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, so if you scroll down, I'm sorry about that.
No,
Real
you're
life.
good.
Oh,
No, yeah, in real life. I was just dealing with mine. I was just saying. Go ahead.
woo, if you scroll down to the 25th, you'll see that we're having a mix and mingle over at Casa Champet, which is off of Pines and like 27th Avenue or University. And so we will be getting together with our breastfeeding advocates. So if you are a supporter of breastfeeding, if you are a lactation consultant, counselor, breastfeeding peer counselor, whoever you are, if you love supporting families with breastfeeding, I want you to go ahead and click here and RSVP. You'll be sent, if you click the RSVP link, you'll be sent to a jot form where you could go ahead and RSVP. I already spoke with the owner just today. And so I just want to confirm how many we'll be expecting. The other piece is that later on this week we'll be with Jesse Trice and at your event as well on the 26th,
Oh,
right?
this
The
is
Breastfeeding
cute.
Cafe. Yeah, I don't know. I was just having fun decorating
That
stuff.
is cute.
And then we have on the 27th, the closing exhibition, which if you have not seen any of this artwork happening and traveling all throughout our county, I need you to come through. It's going to be a great celebration. And then if you continue down on the 28th, on this upcoming Sunday from 3 to 5, I will be hosting a breastfeeding class in Haitian Creole. So I am Haitian, and I'll be doing that, partnering with some folks from Broward Healthy Start and Heritage Birth Collaborative. And it's also a partnership with my support group, Miami Mocha Mamas. And then if you scroll down even more, there's more. There's more. There's a literacy event. The last day of the month, last day of the week, we're going to go ahead and do the breastfeeding literacy night, because I think literacy has been a very important way for me to not only keep my kids calm, which is why I'm like, man, I should have brought some books today. But also it's been a way to really introduce topics to children, right? And get them more acclimated and comfortable with breastfeeding. So we have a book that was written by a Black author, also at IBCLC, that I'm going to be kind of highlighting. And we'll be doing a little bit of a story time. So I hope you all are able to join us. And I hope you mark your calendars. So much going on this week. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both. And I know we're gonna have to wrap up soon, but I just want to highlight again all the events that are going on. The links to each of these events will also be in the chat area of Facebook later on today. Before we close out, do you all have any like final words or call to actions that you want to leave with those who might be either viewing now or viewing a little bit later?
Yes, I want to make some remarks. Well, remember, WIC is always here. I think the number is going across the screen. That's the breastfeeding helpline number. If you ever need some help with breastfeeding or any encouragement, please call that number. If you know anybody who is pregnant, breastfeeding, is having some difficulties with breastfeeding, we also have lactation consultants that are available at WIC. And just please encourage each other to, breastfeed and, keep going.
Thank you. Esther, how about yourself?
I do actually. I wanted to let folks know from the time that I was able to get that funding from Rose to support the Miami Mocha Mamas initiative and creating that group, I've always had in my mindset to try to create other ways to engage folks in the community. So there's now a donation page through my wonderful fiscal sponsor, Center for Social Change. Where if folks are interested in helping support Black breastfeeding families, Black and Brown breastfeeding families, and you'd like to donate an hour or two of our support in home, you are welcome to go to the donation page for that. So I will drop it in the link and hopefully you all can share it. But that way I can do this ongoing support for those families who really need it. Because sometimes they just need that support in home so we can assess everything that's going on in the space and see how we can improve the breastfeeding experience for them. So I will drop that in there. And definitely check out Metro Mommy Agency if you are pregnant, if you're expecting. I teach breastfeeding classes. I do in-home, consultations. I also do virtual support. And I'm just here to support. So thank you for joining us today.
Okay, and thank you again, both of you. Again, we have so many activities that are going on, so many resources to provide for families, from beautiful art exhibitions to brunch to games, just to activities to what else we have going on. Panel discussions, everything to support breastfeeding families or families who would like to breastfeed or like more information. So continue to join us for Live Healthy Miami Gardens Facebook Live weekly wellness series every Tuesday at 3. I know we're on a little bit early today, but usually it's every Tuesday at 3, including the breastfeeding masterclass that is every fourth Tuesday at 3 o'clock p.m. If you're tuning in later, thank you for joining in then. Tuning in then. If you're joining now, thank you for being here. Besides that, have a good rest of your day and go vote.